Bonjour, dear friends. I'm Jean-Charles Boisset, producer of fine wines from both France and California. It's a great honor for me to introduce the famous Emmy, Oscar, Grammy, Tony, EGOT, and multi-platinum award-winning artist of the world. He's a producer of wine, a producer of movie, a producer of music, a phenomenal activist, and a great artist. So, dear friends, help me with a glass of wine to welcome the charismatic, charming, sexy, flamboyant, and winemaker, John Legend.
Hello,
Bonjour.
Jean-Charles. Bonjour. It's so good to be with you. Cheers.
A great honor, John. You're looking good.
We're drinking our LVE sparkling rosé.
Hey, wasn't it a dream of your life to eventually one day, John, make your French sparkling rosé? Here it is.
It was a dream. And when we started making wine together, we started in California, where you're based with Raymond Vineyards. And we started with our Cabernet and with our Chardonnay. But I always wanted to do some bubbly with you, and I always wanted to do some rosé with you. So we had to go to your French heritage and make sure we got the best grapes to make some beautiful still and sparkling rosé.
Well, when you ask, I couldn't resist. This is why I'm wearing a little pink today, because you love the south of France, don't you?
Absolutely. We've been there a lot, and that's part of where I developed my love for wine. And I've had so many beautiful experiences there with food, with wine, with romance, with music, all of it together, creating beautiful experiences. And I knew that so many of my fans connected my music with their wine experience, with their romance experience. And I felt like it would be a beautiful thing to create a wine that we could be really proud of. And so I sought out the best possible partner in the world. We went on a worldwide search for the best partner. And through a mutual friend, we were connected to Jean-Charles. And together, we formed LVE, Legend Vineyard Exclusive. We started with a 2013 Cabernet and a 2014 Chardonnay from Napa Valley. And we've been producing beautiful wines together, expanding our purview for the last few years. And it's been beautiful to do that. And now we're so excited to present a new collaboration with Total Wine. Hopefully everybody tasting along with us right now was able to pick their wine up at Total Wine and enjoy it with us.
John, we must say that it's so important for the sparkling and the rosé. Maybe we should start the tasting there.
Mm-hmm.
We were in France and in the South and back in California, back and forth, and really crafted those wines together. So maybe, John, if we start, before we go to the signature series,
Mm-hmm.
I'd love for us to hear why sparkling, why French bubbles, why rosé, and why it makes so much sense for you to have that in your hand at all time.
Well, as I've said before, I've had so many wonderful experiences in the south of France, and it's such a signature varietal for the south of France. It's part of the sun, the beach, the elegance, everything that you associate with the south of France. These rosés evoke those things, and I couldn't have these beautiful California wines and not complete our range with some beautiful rosés. And working with Jean-Charles is exactly the perfect person, because he literally symbolizes that Franco-American connection. He's based in Napa, but he's also in France, born and raised in France, has been making wine in both places for many years now. And so I had the perfect collaborator if I wanted to have wines both from California and from France. And I'm so excited that we were able to launch these rosés, because they are a hit at my house. They're a hit at our parties. when we have brunches, when we have barbecues. I love that we've made wines that I'm excited to share with my loved ones, with my friends, with my family, with the folks that I'm entertaining. And it's such an integral part of that. And this September, when we go on tour, we're going to have an LVE rosé garden party. So it's a part of all of my creative experiences, all of my entertaining experiences. And it's what I love to share with the people I love. So I'm excited for these rosés.
Well, it's so well said. And this is why, John, I'm wearing, as you could see here, my Franco-American leaf and wonderful pin, because it really symbolizes, well, our friendship, your love of Europe, your love of France.
Yes.
And, you know, dear friends, this is Pinot Noir for a few percentage. And then the balance are white grapes like Uni Blanc and French Colombard and all those great grapes that bring wonderful, crispy vibrancy to your mouth, to your palate, with very thin bubbles, because John was very specific as he's singing at the same time as performing and playing the piano magnificently well. He wanted the bubble to dance on his tongue, right, John? That was very important for you to have those very delicate, thin bubbles in the glass.
Yes. And I think my overall approach to winemaking is I like subtle touches. I like elegance. Even though you want it to be substantial, you also want that subtlety and that balance and that elegance. And I think we've worked on that with every single varietal that we've done.
And what was important now, if we try, John, your beautiful bottle that we designed, and I would love for you, absolutely. We see, and dear friends, within Total Wines, wonderful assortment of the two wines, the sparkling and the Grenache Rosé. So I'd like to insist on the fact that John designed the label, the bottle, and the incredible bottle shape. So, John, maybe before we go to the content, you want to tell us a little bit about the look of the bottle that we've crafted here, because this is such a beautiful package.
Well, I'm not going to take credit for all of the design, but my team is wonderful. And my creative team, they work with me on my album cover designs. They work with me on so many of my creative endeavors. And we wanted to have our bottles reflect our sensibilities and our aesthetic really well. And we wanted it to stand out. We wanted, when you see it on the shelf, when you see it in your wine cellar, that it has a particular look and it is elegant and clean and evokes just freshness and summer and just cleanliness. It just feels right. So
I want more. You just convinced me to get more.
People love this bottle. It has the clear cork with the glass here. And so it's reusable. You can reuse it as a water bottle. I know a lot of my friends do that. It's just a beautiful, elegant bottle. And it kind of has this jewel bottom here that is very unique. And you just don't see any wine bottles that look like this. And it's quite wonderful. And we're very proud. And the liquid inside, the wine inside is wonderful. It's our favorite at our house. We share it with our friends all the time. And it's a big hit.
And it's and John, which was really fun to do together, is to blend 3 grape varieties.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, John is used to blend music and notes and the musical chords, right? We had a lot of fun. Grenache, Cinsault, and Syrah. So 3 of the very famous historical Roman influence planted in the 2nd century in the south of France of those grape varieties, right, John? That was really exciting to create the percentages together.
Absolutely. We do all of our blending together. And Jean-Charles is a brilliant winemaker. He's been doing it since birth, basically. And he also has a brilliant team that helps us. But we collaborate together. And we specifically want our wines that we do together to reflect our sensibilities together. And so we really interact with each other and try to get it exactly right, so that we all are really proud of it, and so that it's differentiated from all the other wines that Jean-Charles makes with the rest of his team. We want it to have its own signature, and we're able to do that. And music comes into play when we're blending as well. As Jean-Charles said before, we go back and forth between listening to music, blending wine. It's a creative process. It's a balancing process, which I compare often to the music creation process. Because when you write a song, you're trying to find balance. You're trying to find the right elements. When Chrissy's making a recipe for her cookbook, you're trying to find that balance as well between spice, between tartness, between sweetness, between savoriness, all these things. You're trying to get them exactly right so it feels good. It feels natural. It feels beautiful. It feels exactly the way it should be. And that's how we are with blending wine. It's that same sensibility of trying to find the balance, trying to bring these disparate elements together and make something beautiful. And that's what we've tried to do.
And you know what I love with this wine, John, and you really said it so well. You wanted something radiant, very luminous as a wine, something very crisp that you could have at the
Yes.
pool and with your friends. So we don't have any oak treatment here. This is really stainless steel fermented. And this is why I think the wine is so pleasant. I mean, I
Yes.
feel rose petals and I have a
Yes.
bouquet of aroma here.
It's
Wow.
we wanted it to be crisp and light and feel yes, that absence of the oak, even though we wanted it to feel like you could have it by the pool and not feel too weighed down by it. We wanted it to be a nice, crisp, light experience. And I feel like this is exactly the right blend. And it looks so beautiful in the bottle too, and in the glass.
And who doesn't want rosé? I mean, when we say rosé all day and rosé all year, now it has
Yes,
become that.
it really has. And it really is a great varietal. It's kind of the right combination. And it's been very popular. And I have tried a lot of these other rosés, and I feel like ours is the best. I do. Maybe I'm biased.
I agree with you. And dear friends, which is so exciting as you all with us today, and John, we taste every rosé there is. And we really wanted, thanks to our amazing sources in the south of France, throughout Provence and all the Mediterranean basin, you got to realize the south is really the amphitheater of wine. This is where the Greeks, the Romans came and got established. So we have an amazing series of scents that accompany the wine, from lavender to olives to everything that really speaks volume in the south, that I think you want to accompany with this wine. So John really had it as he clearly outlined his idea. We presented to him some thoughts, and then he was singing at the same time as he was making those wines. You remember, John, with your beautiful white suit
Yes,
and
I
your
remember.
pink. I try to be like you, but it's not as well
That's a
tailored.
beautiful suit, honestly. That's a beautiful suit. I like that combination. That's perfect for drinking rosé.
And dear friends, there's a big iconic picture of John, which happens to be on this bottle of wine when you go to the Total Wine store, where John does a cheer with a beautiful white piano, his fabulous, crisp pink and white suit. And do you remember you were performing in
I
LA?
do remember we had a beautiful party in Beverly Hills, and we celebrated the launch of our rosé, had an amazing experience greeting so many friends and collaborators and fans. And it was such a beautiful night. And that was how we launched the rosé, and it's been a part of our lives since then. And it's been a beautiful experience having this as part of our arsenal here.
Absolutely. And so the way we started really, dear friends, is with Chardonnay and Cabernet. So John has a love for those wines. And I was delighted because, to tell you a little bit about my background, I was born in the first areas of Chardonnay in the history of time, which happens to be Burgundy. So when John said, the two wines I'd love to have as the top notch to begin my life journey in Napa Valley is Chardonnay and Cabernet. So when we met with our friends, the Throne family and the incredible team at Total Wine, John said, what about if we do this amazing signature series that I will personally sign
Yes.
and that will represent who I am? So, John, maybe you want to say why Chardonnay and Cabernet, because I'm so elated and excited about the two wines we've put together, because
Well,
this is unusual. Sonoma blend, this one.
yes, this is a Sonoma blend, but as you know, and as you've stated before, the king and queens of our LVE collection, the original OG wines that we created, Napa Valley Creations, were our 2013 Cabernet and our 2014 Chardonnay. And so the origins of LVE were in Napa Valley, in this beautiful wine region that we have right in our state of California, and with a Cabernet and a Chardonnay. And so when Total Wine reached out to us and said, let's do something special for our customers together, we decided to go back to our origins and in Northern California, get our Cabernet and our Chardonnay. And we were able to do that.
What amazed me, John, and I want to share that with our friends, is how we made together the first Cabernet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we made, which is available as well at Total Wine, before launching this wonderful exclusive signature wine, John was blending. And I got to tell you, John's objective at first on the Cabernet was harmonious and melodious wine. So he was going back and forth with the piano and say, Jean-Charles, can we get this note? Can we get this melody? Can we get this tone in the wines? And we were with Stephanie Putnam, director of winemaking.
We love Stephanie. We couldn't do it without her.
That's right. And our whole team, and John was really so directive, which I love, John, and maybe you want to touch on that, from the keyboard to his voice, and I'm sure he'll give us an example of that beautiful voice shortly. And you were directing us to think differently than Raymond Wines with LVE, and that's what I loved, and I was really excited about it.
Well, whenever you collaborate with an entity like Raymond Wines, Jean-Charles Boisset, these are institutions, these are experts, these are people who do their job beautifully. You have to trust your collaborators. So you begin with this level of trust that these folks know what they're doing. They're experts. They've been doing this for a long time. But also, because it's a collaboration, what makes it interesting, what makes it different from everything else Jean-Charles and his team do, is that it's an actual collaboration. It's a back and forth where we exchange ideas and we try to find something that we both really love and something that may be different from what they're already offering. And I do this when I collaborate with Sperry. I make my own shoes as a collaboration with Sperry. And one of the things that we do when we do that is we look at their heritage. We look at what they've done really well for a long time, but we also put my own spin on it. And so that's how I approached everything I did with Jean-Charles. They already do everything beautifully. They already do everything wonderfully and magically and have had such success over a long period of time. But it's not interesting if we don't do something new. And so what our aim was to take what they already do well, but put our own spin on it. And so that's why it's such a collaborative effort. We go back and forth. We try to find the things that I will love and that they will love as well. And we are able to get that exact right balance. And it's such a fun, edifying experience for me. And the result is we get to present these beautiful wines to the world.
That's right. And as you said, 1 + 1 = 5 in many ways, because
Yes.
what we've done, and I think, dear friends, for all of you tasting the wines with us and in general, learning about wine, what is exciting is wine is never an exact science. It's an art. You always can learn. You always can develop your palate further, and there's no truth. It's very subjective. You may like something, someone else may not. Your partner, your significant other may love a wine or music, and someone else may not. So the beauty of it with John, we really learn as well how to collaborate in a very creative way where John helped us to improve what we wanted to do. And I think, John, this wine, that I'm so excited with the North Coast because basically we have the whole North Coast as a choice. So it's like John, he could be from classical to jazz to rock and roll to all the music he's blending into one beautiful song. Right, John? And that's what we did together on this wine. So maybe you want to touch on this Cabernet because this is literally the alchemy of the whole North Coast of California blended together.
Yeah, and this is the first wine that we've done from the North Coast. Our Cabernet that we've done before over the years has been from Napa, and it's cool to explore a new part of Northern California. And I believe we got some wonderful grapes from the North Coast, and all of the Total Wine customers will benefit from that.
So, dear friends, one little memory that I'd love for John to share, but I'm going to share one on this wine. John loves Cabernet. He's in love with Cabernet. Texture, fabric, length, mid-palate, what it helps him to think and write music. In this wine, well, do you remember in this one, we started at 100% cab, and then he said, what about if we add maybe a secret weapon? What about if we add something that would bring more spice to the wine? And I want to say that humbly, I was not thinking of it. And John had the idea to add Petite Syrah, 2% of it in this blend. And, you know, a great artist, when there's this miraculous moment that ignite in you an idea, and he did, and he pushed us, and he pushed me, and I really said, what shall we do here? Do you remember? And you said, what about Syrah, Petite Syrah?
Well, we had used it in our red blend. We did a Napa red blend for LVE a few years ago, and we used Petite Syrah, and I thought it would be interesting to put it in this one, and here we are.
Well, and I must say, you know, when a lot of people think an artist wants to make wine just to lend his name, this is absolutely not what happened with John. And I would have never done it, ever, if it was just putting John's name on this beautiful label. It would not have been enough. So the fun thing in life is, well, as James Bond said, the world is not enough. And basically, we can collaborate and learn from one another. And that moment, John, you said, spice. I want more spice. And I said, well, what shall we do? And you said, what about Syrah, Petite Syrah? I was so excited. That was brilliant, though. And this is your additional contribution to this 2019 that I think is fabulous.
Well, I am proud of all that we've done together, and that the great folks who are customers of Total Wine can experience these wines that we've created, can taste with us right now and enjoy these wines with us right now. And I'm so glad we were able to get together and do this.
Well, and maybe, John, one last thing. Either a favorite memory you want to share on the LVE, which is the Legend Vineyard exclusive, dear friends, or love, because it means both.
Yes.
And maybe a little melody you want to leave us with, because let's never forget, John is as well an entrepreneur, very similar to my good friend, the Tron brothers, who founded Total Wine. I met them 26 years ago, John. They had one store in Virginia. Wow. And they are together, an amazing team, a duo. They built an amazing company, but they started like you and like us, really out of a little place, and became what it is today. So I think we need to have you, you know, share a memory, and for them, maybe a little song, because, you know, they love you.
That sounds good. So I've had so many wonderful memories. We've talked about some of them where we've listened to music, made wine, spent a lot of beautiful time in the Napa Valley region, and gotten to know the region. One of my favorite aspects of our relationship has been the things we've been able to do for the Napa region. We've been able to raise millions of dollars to help families who suffered from the fires. And what I love about winemaking in general is that we're putting more beauty out into the world. People have beautiful experiences with wine. We want to make sure that those experiences are maximally incredible, maximally tasteful, and maximally elegant. And we've been able to do that. But at the same time, we've been able to help people and make people's lives better. And that's been a wonderful part of being a part of this collaboration, embracing a community, embracing an ethos, and really being a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. And that's what I've loved about this experience. And when I talk about
So well
growing,
said. Thank
when
you.
I talk about LVE and us expanding and Total Wines expanding, I think of bigger love. We got a bigger love, won't ever give it up, yeah. We got a one-way ticket, love. We ain't going no place but out. Nothing can stop this. No one can top us. We've got a bigger love. Bigger love.
I
Bigger
love it.
LVE. The Bigger Love Tour is coming to a city near you in September. It's all about bigger love.
Well, John, not only thank you for coming to Napa Valley, the North Coast, the south of France, bringing your joy, your happiness, your talent, your harmonious skills to the wine world. Really, from the bottom of my heart, you've helped us to progress with taste and flavor as a true alchemist that you are. And as well, your enormous contribution, as you said, to the community. You've done it. And there's no artist, dear friend, who've done so much in such a short period of time for Napa Valley and Sonoma and the wine world. And I would like to thank you, John, as well, for embracing this great collaboration with Total Wine and making the wine specifically for the Total Wine phenomenal aficionados and followers and for the Tron family. So, dear friends, as we're tasting together, let's raise our glass for John Legend, because he's the legend and he's the one who really are bringing us not only joy in our glass, but in our ears. He really represents, I think, all the senses.
Cheers, Jean-Charles. It's been great spending time with you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
See you soon in September on the tour and in the stores.